Hi everyone, it's Killshot 99 Gaming. This is Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 live early review. So we are just a few weeks out until we get into our fear, what's the word I'm looking for? Our hunger, our getting back to something related to The Walking Dead, even though it is a little bit different than The Walking Dead. Actually, it's a lot different than The Walking Dead. I'm going to talk about that tonight because I did see some of the earlier chat. I pop in and out when you guys are going. I write down a couple comments that I do want to address. Before we get into that, just want to give a shout out to the patrons. You can see them up on the screen. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. And we got some super chatters already in the house before we get started. We got Valar super chatting it up. Heller 99 Army, Kill, Steph, Emmy, Kel, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, patrons, channel members, and of course all the super chatters that are out there. So let me start out by saying what I mean by Fear and The Walking Dead, because I think a lot of people want it to be the same show. But here's the challenge that I want to throw out for everybody, because I don't know, Julia, it might have been you. It was somebody that typed it and said, yeah, I'm a little frustrated because Morgan sort of changed his mind. That's who Morgan is. Morgan needed to get away, and then he thought he needed to save everybody and get him back, and then he has a purpose. So Morgan's purpose now is to give out boxes and to save people. And you kind of got to go with the flow. That's what's important to him. And it's two totally different concepts. Walking Dead is a story of some hope and major loss. Fear the Walking Dead is a lot of hope and minor loss. And I think they do this intentionally, and Fear the Walking Dead, of course, is a little bit more lighthearted, especially last season. I thought it was great. Gouche Gouche, thank you so much for that super chat. And also, Pete D, super chatting it up. What's up, Pete D? Good to see you as well. Pete, how you feeling about Tara not being on the show anymore? Just we haven't really talked since the Tara exit. Any regrets? Just wondering. So, Fear the Walking Dead, basically, I would say it's probably at the point where Rick's group, had their prison. Well, now Morgan's group, they've got a denim factory. And there are a couple neat little bits of information you probably saw in the trailer, the original trailers, the new one that came out a couple days ago. And one is the radioactive suits. And there is a sign, I don't know if you guys caught this. How many people have seen the trailer at least more than 3 times? And have been like deep diving, looking for any type of clues or hints or things that we can kind of piece together? Because I've got a couple. I've got a couple things that you might find a little bit interesting just from the trailer. All right, it's fine. If you've only seen it once, no worries. I'm going to help you out with a little bit. So, let me see what the sign says. I got a feeling there's been some testing on these walkers, because you do see the person in the suit. We don't know who the person is. Could be one of our own. But there's also a sign on the ground that they were walking over that said highly radioactive area. So that's one of the clues. The other thing that really jumped out to me is how many people saw the walker heads, or the people heads. I guess they're walker heads now. And the first thing that kind of comes to mind is whisperers, right? That's the first thing we might be thinking. But the question that I have for you is, did you notice anything strange about those decapitated heads? Let's see if anybody can get this. I'm going to give you a kills coin. We're going to start out this week with a kills coin if somebody can get this. We got Tom Ferreira. Hopefully they don't kill the cat. Tom, don't even think it, okay? If that were to happen, I would have some serious problems with the writers. Some people said still animated. Well, yeah, but that's not what I'm looking for, Najee. Something a little bit different. There was something unique about all of them. And after I mention it, you can go back and watch it. I guess everybody's too busy saying hello. You guys don't want a kills coin. Come on now, everybody. Think back to it. Long hair? Nope. They were hanging. All right. No kills coin on this one. We'll just save it for the next one. There was all damage to their right eye. Now, when you're looking at it, it's going to be on your left side. But their right eyes were all, the sockets around their right eyes were all cut out. Little bit strange. Right, Tom? Protect the cat. Absolutely. Check it again. I don't know what's going on with the eyes, but the right eye socket is all cut out. You can see the left eye is still functioning. I just notice weird things like that. Don't know what kind of killers we have. Don't know what it means. Don't know what they could be using them for. Or is it an eye for an eye? Certainly. What I want to do also is talk about a little bit of the characters and why I feel like this particular group of characters are safe. I made it a point at one of our previous streams that a lot of us tune in for The Walking Dead, whether we admit it or not, and even with the spoilers. When the spoilers come out from Spoiling Dead's fan page, what's one of the first things that everybody wants to know, that everybody's asking every week? Who died, right? Which character did we lose? So in a weird sort of way, I'm not saying it's the only reason you tune in, because, you know, we like the relationships, we like the story, but there is a certain part of us that gets attached to who dies. One thing about, other than the big deaths last year with Madison, with Nick, it doesn't feel as if any of these characters up on the screen are really going to die. It's more lighthearted. Even the brand new promo, Heroes United, it's about how cool they are with their weapons and who they're meeting and who they're helping and the predicaments they get put in. So I don't think people tune in to Fear the Walking Dead just to see which character is going to die next. So I got a couple super chats. Flamethrower Fluff, the left eyes are fine. They must be big. TLC, no, Fluff. I get it. What do you guys think? You guys think that Fluff just went Lisa Left Eye Lopez? You guys think that's worth a kills coin? He gets started early. So if the green team votes for you, Fluff, I'm down with it. I see where you're going with that. June Smith, so kills. All I want to know is, are we getting any info on Rick with Fear? June, I don't know why we would. And I think part of it is because you love Rick, and part of it is because it's a serious question. No, I don't think there's any need to cross Rick's story over into Fear, because Rick won't be there. So, look, you just can't make every Walking Dead spinoff about Rick Grimes. I don't see the value in it. Tom Bug Ferreira says the walkers are totally mutating into the tank. And, great point, Melissa Conrad. Fear the Walking Dead, from what I've heard, is still at least a couple years behind. I don't think they pinpointed the exact time, but it's still a couple years. So the only Rick information you'd get on Fear is, Rick's building a bridge. Dwight? What are you doing here, Dwight? Didn't want to help with that bridge. Looking for Sherry. No, I mean, that's it. That's all that was going on, right? Oh, if they only knew. They only knew what's going on back in Virginia. Which is all the more reason from not just from a fan sense of, I wanted them to go back, you understand there's no way they could go back, because if they went back, you would basically not have Fear the Walking Dead. You would just have them merged onto one show. So by wanting them to continue their journey, you basically are saying that Fear the Walking Dead is going to end. And I'm totally fine with that. So, yeah, I got her super chat. We're good. And Tom, the helicopter group will play a part in Fear. Well, once again, Tom, that's more possible that the helicopter group could be involved in Fear if they're part of a bigger group. But not related to Rick's story. I just don't see that happening. I think Fear can stand alone. I mean, with a couple crossover characters, don't think they need the story, especially with the third one coming out. I mean, what are we going to have here? We're going to have The Walking Dead, and then Fear the Walking Dead in Texas, Oklahoma, somewhere in the Midwest. Now, I do feel like the next spinoff is going to be directly related to The Walking Dead. If where they're filming is actually where they are. Because they're going to be filming in Virginia, which is pretty much, I mean, they're really filming in Virginia. A couple more super chats up here. William the Walking Dead billboard. Morgan stabs a walker in the right eye in the trailer. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how those decapitated heads got up there. I don't know that it's Morgan, William. I think it's another group, and I just think they have some sick tradition. Tom, I'm 99.9, mostly 100% sure it was confirmed. Tom, I have not seen it. So if it is confirmed, I have not seen it in any spoiler information or any of the writers. I could have missed it, but I didn't get that information. Wilson, looking forward to seeing Abe on the tape. Not confirmed either, but certainly something the fans need to see. I think the Abe and Eugene tapes are going to be something that's out there like the Morales story. That eventually they've teased it and we're going to need to see it. We're going to need to know what's on there. See, that's the nice thing that Fear can do. They can sprinkle a little bit of the past. But I think it's a very dangerous game if they get into the whole Rick Grimes story. So, talk about the characters just a little bit to kind of get everybody back in the moment of what we can look forward to with Fear. The one thing that I've liked is they do hold true at least the last couple seasons. So, here's an example. Alicia was all about getting the attention of her mom and the bond, and how Madison always liked Nick a little bit better, and she was just trying to win over that support. So one of the teaser scenes they show is Alicia is living on and carrying on the tradition of her mom. You know, all the things my mom did has allowed us to stand here. So we're going to have a little bit more of that. Don't know that I love it, but it's who she is. And I think they just got to give you a little bit of that from time to time. And then they give her like a muffler and let her stab people, which is cool. So I can deal with the occasional Madison reference as long as they keep Alicia as kind of a badass. We have to have the never-ending love affair as well. John and June are the lovers. John and June, I don't think, are going anywhere. But I do think the writers have a sense of humor on Fear the Walking Dead. And I think this is part of what a lot of people don't like. They don't like the subtle conveniences. They don't like... was it Wilson, was it you that asked earlier and said, how does John not run out of ammo? I think it might have been Wilson. Because I think that's a great question. But who cares? That's part of the difference between Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead is, first of all, they're both completely unbelievable because you can't get bit by zombies or walkers. But in The Walking Dead, it's the type of thing that we break down. In Fear the Walking Dead, it's the type of thing that you just go with. And in Walking Dead, you actually have to have a bullet maker, and you actually have to grow the tomatoes. You got to do all those things. In Fear the Walking Dead, I think it's just kind of, John's got bullets. He's really cool with those guns. I like watching it. It's kind of a little bit of senseless entertainment. Najee Watt says, can you see other celebs on the show for fun kill? Absolutely. Najee, I think Fear the Walking Dead has a platform just to change it up. Walker tornadoes, low-flying airplanes, radioactive walkers. The things that they can't do on The Walking Dead because they're too far into it and we're too serious with The Walking Dead, they can add a little bit of that humorous element to Fear the Walking Dead. And they certainly did last year. Tom Ferrer says, will Madison come back? Not that I care, but I'm just curious. No. Madison is done, gone, never coming back. Burnt, left behind. They didn't even look for her in the stadium. They knew. And Laura, maybe it is a little bit of that Z Nation, but look, there were a couple things. When Charlie wanted to kill herself, but you know what's funny? You know, we always talk about how many people think that Fear the Walking Dead is a little bit of stealing from The Walking Dead. How many people kind of feel a little bit of that? Because I'm actually going to give you two examples that I can think of right off the top of my head where The Walking Dead stole from Fear the Walking Dead last year. Case in point, the weather. In Fear the Walking Dead, they got to play with weather. They got a freaking tornado. They had a hurricane. They had flooding. In The Walking Dead, they had a snowstorm. Similar, different, but similar. Last season, you guys remember Lydia? Remember Lydia walking out on the ice? She was about to commit suicide by the walker. Do you guys remember Charlie? Charlie was going to commit suicide when they were up in the house, and Charlie was going to walk out and let the walker kill her. Charlie happened before Lydia. But the funny thing about Charlie on the roof, and this is where it's the message or the moral in Fear is, don't give up. Don't give up. You're in a basement, the basement's flooding, and the walker that you were going to let kill you is probably going to fall and break you out. Silly stuff, right? Very subtle, but you look at each other like, what are the odds that could happen? And I think that's the thing you really have to embrace with Fear, is they're not afraid just to pull the characters Every episode could essentially be a dumpster scene. And they're okay with dumpster scenes in Fear the Walking Dead. But you can't keep doing dumpster scenes in The Walking Dead because fans don't like it. Tom and Villar, I would say if it's a comic Easter egg, it would probably be more with Carol Carol was the first one, right? At the prison in the comic books. So I don't know if it'd be an Easter egg or a callback to Carol's situation at the prison. Because Carol wanted to die. But, once again, I'm okay with them sharing things back and forth because, look, there's only so many things you can do in a zombie apocalypse, especially if you're going to keep doing spinoffs. But I'm not necessarily going to say watch Fear the Walking Dead with a grain of salt, but watch it to be entertained. Don't really, well, you can watch it however you want. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm going to tell you what works for me, right? The first 3 seasons of Fear frustrated me. And I felt like if they kept writing it that way, the show wasn't going to last. And last year, something changed. It became more of a Western. It became conveniently funny, not conveniently bad. And season 2, season 3, Nick gets lost. Madison goes looking for Nick. Nick gets lost. They're in Mexico. They regroup. They find each other. And I'm like, it's a big world. This doesn't make any sense. But then last year, it just had a different comic element to it. And there were those one-liners that were pretty funny. But in last year, I became a Fear fan. And I think this year is only going to get better. Kimberly M. super chatting it up says, just some support for this amazing channel. Love kills our mods and this awesome army. Well, thank you, Kimberly. Appreciate the awesome support. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the army, all the Patreons, all the super chatters. The mods are absolutely amazing and absolutely appreciated. Madison ain't coming back. Not coming back. Troy, not coming back. That was a rumor spreading around for a while that Troy was coming back too. Daniel, coming back. William the Walking Dead Billboard says, I may have missed this discussion, but the season will start with a time jump. Small, but there is one. It's going to be... I almost feel like it's going to be like The Walking Dead. In this regard, they just had a slight chance to rebuild a little bit. I mean, we don't need to see them growing tomatoes and avocados and eggplants. Let's just assume that they do it. And the problem is when they don't, we get that questioning. Tom Ferrer says, Fear the Walking Dead, season 2 and 3 was boring to me. It was to me too. In fact, many of you watched all the way through, and I'm not telling you not to, get the story under your belt. I won't go back and watch it. But we started streaming Fear, and we stopped about halfway through the season. We started, people weren't showing up. They didn't want to talk about it. Here's something else that I want you guys to know as far as spoilers. When spoilers are released, as I said earlier, everybody wants to know on Spoiling Dead's fan page, who died, what's going to happen. When there's spoilers out for Fear, not a lot of people are standing in line like, oh God, I can't wait to get the spoilers. It's just not that. It's not because the show doesn't have some popularity. I think it's just because people want to sort of watch, have a couple drinks, and just sort of be casually entertained by it. Not dig down to all the Easter eggs and the lore behind Fear the Walking Dead. Fluff the Flamethrower. I figured there might be a time jump because Charlie is now being portrayed by Betty White. All right. Let's give him a kills coin for that. I don't think he got a kills coin earlier. But, okay, there you go. Julia's just putting it out there. All right, if I get 3 more of the green team, then Kel. Wow, tough crowd tonight, Fluff. There we go. Going once, going twice. All right, there you go. First kills coin of the week is Fluff Salisbury. So you are on the board, my man. Tom Bug Ferreira says, I heard that Fear takes place in between Season 8 of The Walking Dead and the beginning of Season 9. Yes, that would be correct. Well, because, remember, Morgan left prior, and Dwight's been looking for Sherry, and the reason Dwight left is because of Daryl. I don't care how sorry you are. I'm going to kill you, son of a bitch. And then Dwight left. Dwight couldn't stay and help with the Whisperer War. At least the first half, yes. And I can hope that Dwight stays on the hero side, but you never know. Dwighty boy's been through a lot. Now, one other little piece of information. Daniel looks like he's got a little fort set up. If you watch the scene where Strand is talking with his hands up about Pavlovian responses, and you may be inclined to just pull the trigger. I mean, Daniel says, Strand, you still talk too much. But if you look closer, looks like there's kind of an iron gate, and Daniel's got his own little place. Yeah, I don't see Dwight, though. I still don't see Dwight taking on the villain. Even if Sherry is dead, I don't see him going back to what he despised in Negan. I'd have a little bit of a problem with that. Well, Bug, I will certainly do that. However, one word I will respectfully omit because I just don't say it. But certainly in Daryl's voice, I'm going to kill that son of a bitch. But, yeah, there you go. That's as close as I can get. But I would have to put in, I don't care if he is sorry. And if you guys wonder, I mean, that was the only thing he said the whole season. It was easy. I'd have to go back and watch season 8. I mean, he might have said something when he drove the garbage truck into the sanctuary. I don't care if he is in there. I can't get this truck out of first gear. You know, maybe. And then they just bailed. I was not a fan of Daryl driving the truck into the sanctuary. Well, actually, I wasn't a fan of a lot of stuff that Daryl did. Him and Rick were just at odds. Right after that fight, I mean, as much as they could be at odds. Linda, thank you so much. She's here to say, I love you, Kills, and I miss your awesome voice. I love all the amazing 999 Army and hope to be well enough to be back soon. Thanks for everyone that prayed for me. Get well soon, Linda. Appreciate having you here and being a part of our group and part of our discussion and part of our family. And get well before June 2nd, before we kick off Fear. That's a requirement. So I do want to talk a little bit about a couple of the other characters that are out there. So Luciana, we almost took side bets last year. It's like, who's going to be the first one to die? It's going to be Lucy. It's going to be Strand. It's going to be Althea. I don't think any of them die. If any of them do, I think only one of them, because they're going to add new characters. It's still going to take another season, I think, to get us attached. Now, based on popularity, I don't think Lucy is real high on the popularity list, just based on the people on the screen. And I do think Charlie's going to start to wear on some people. I mean, in a good way. Tom says Bear McCreary is the most strongest walker ever in the whole wide world. I mean, you can't go back and say, well, her arc is not, because they're all creating a brand new arc. June and John not going anywhere. You got to have the love couple. And John's really awesome with those guns. Alicia, she's the star. Morgan, no way. They didn't cross him over to kill him. Althea's too cool. She has a tank. Strand ain't dying. Strand's the talker. Charlie, they saved Charlie for a reason. So, based on my quick funnel theory, well, Lucy is going to be the first one of them to die. I just don't think it'll be this season. Or it won't be in the first half of the season. We can spend a couple minutes talking about Dwight. Somebody says, is Dwight going to be a villain, an anti-hero? Is he going to be a hero? Dwight's going to be neutral. Dwight's going to be Dwight. He's going to be out for himself. He's by himself, so I think he's going to be out for himself. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the writers manipulate our emotions toward Dwight. We already know him. So some people have forgiven him. Some people hold a little bit of a grudge. I think most of the audience kind of likes him from The Walking Dead. But whatever he's been through, remember, Dwight's on a journey. He's looking for something. John was on that journey, and John found it. So, in a weird sort of way, Dwight is probably taking what John's story could have been. John was looking for June. We didn't think it was going to work out. John is good with his firearms. Now you got Dwight, and probably didn't find Sherry. So he's going to be the one that lost everything and is fighting the world. John is going to be the one that has everything. Bug Ferreira wants to bring back the alligator. See, that was cool too. And thanks for reminding me of that, Tom. I mean, Fear the Walking Dead had an alligator. They've had a lot of cool stuff. It's just they threw so many things out there. And you know what else? They made beer. Jimbo. Jimbo made his own beer. Well, hey, Wilson, I wouldn't have a problem with Daniel dying. I mean, he's been gone for a while. Bring him back, kill him. That's fine. I did like Jimbo. But the big, bold prediction, and I don't think it's going to be Daniel. I do think Fear at some point needs to create a villain, but they can't give you your typical governor, Terminus, Negan, or Alpha. I mean, the villain last year was Martha, the Sharpie lady. I mean, I don't know. Look, last year we had the Sharpie lady. This year we might have the Stapler man. I mean, it could be just madness. She was a weird woman, and I don't think she wasn't as creepy as she was meant to be, but I still think she worked. And we got radioactive walkers. So if the creators of Fear the Walking Dead are saying there's going to be something with walkers this year that's going to change the universe forever, well, there you go. I mean, case in point. That's the type of things they can do on Fear the Walking Dead that I don't think that would really work well on The Walking Dead. And they did have the vultures as well. So, hey, we're coming up on, 37 minutes. So we got a couple more minutes. Want to get a couple more people's thoughts and comments in here. Yeah, as I told you guys, I certainly would have loved to see, instead of Dwight crossing over, I would have loved to see Simon cross over. And I think Simon would have stayed. I'm not saying Fear the Walking Dead needs to be hilarious, but I certainly think Simon would have been a perfect villain because he would have had just the right amount of humor and just the right amount of being savage. Simon could have been a savage. Missed opportunity. And I know a lot of you are binge watching it, so I've given you a lot of tidbits of season 4, but go back and watch it anyway, because as a Walking Dead fan, when you see floods and walker tornadoes and all the cool stuff they did, alligators, beer, the cranes they used at the hospital, I just thought it was very well written and thought out. All right, so we're going to let's give away one more Kills coin. So I'm going to ask you guys, what innovative idea could they put into this season's Fear the Walking Dead that none of us may be prepared for? So think of something creative that you think they might add, and I'm going to pick one of the best ones. We'll give them another Kills coin. Tom Ferreira says next animal that should be introduced is an anaconda and a shark. Tom, how about an anaconda riding a shark? Think about that. That would be completely unstoppable. No, I don't think. Steph says a Sasquatch. Morgan having a romance. Oh. That would be up there with Brienne of Tarth having a romance. No, June, not Rick on a helicopter. Rick riding a helicopter like it's a horse. I would like to see zombie animals. let's see here. If you guys, hey, feel free, Green Team, if you guys see something that's a really, really awesome comment that you think would play out well, then let's get some votes in. Ron says a functional Starbucks. Unlike Game of Thrones. Bug Ferreira, what if Morgan's son being alive and being reunited? Dwayne's dead. Tom, Dwayne is dead. Dwayne is as dead as Madison. Glow-in-the-dark walkers? That would be kind of cool. Well, if they're radioactive and they were glow-in-the-dark, you got your own virtual power source. I mean, you have your radios. All you got to do is just lay them down, put your CB radios on top of them. It'd be like an iPad charger. I like that. How about glow-in-the-dark walkers? Let's give it to anybody want to vote for Logan? Going once. Going twice. There you go. All right. All right, let's give away two. Logan and Crystal. Kel, you got them on the ledger? So go with Logan, Crystal, and we got Fluff earlier. So 3 kills coins. We'll give away some more tomorrow night. So we're going to wind the stream down. We're at 41 minutes. This is our kind of our live early review of Fear the Walking Dead. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about Walking Dead, filming, what to look forward to in Season 10. Everybody do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button for tonight. We got nothing on Thursday night. My schedule could change later on this week, so I'm still planning on doing Walking Dead tomorrow and Freestyle Friday this Friday. But if something happens later on this week or early next week, then I'll post it on the Facebook fan page and on the Patreon site as well. So I do think the schedule next week is going to be a little bit off, but I don't want to make any announcements until we get closer and closer to it. So I want to thank everybody for being here tonight and getting your thoughts, getting a lot of good inclusion. Lisa, your badge is right beside your name. Your name is green. Your badge is beside your name. You got all of the above. I can see it. So if you can't see it, try to F5 it. I don't know what's going on your side. It's got to be an issue between you and YouTube because it's showing up on my screen. So I want to thank everybody for being here. If everything goes well, we will be streaming again next Tuesday, but just hold tight. If we don't early next week, then the week after we will get back to a normal Fear the Walking Dead schedule because we're going to have a couple weeks to get this all said and done. So thanks, everybody. I want to give a shout-out to all the patrons in top left-hand corner, all the channel members. You guys can see them in green. William the Walking Dead billboard is throwing flowers to the ladies, fist bumps to the guys, and kills. William, I think I should get like 2 bouquets of flowers, something a little bit different. You basically just you just lump me in. I don't feel special at all. So yeah, maybe something different. All right. Thanks, William. Also to the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kels, thank you so much. Patreons, as I said, you guys are absolutely amazing. I'm going to put some polls. I'm going to put some surveys up for tomorrow night's stream as well. And Super Chatters, great job with all the Super Chats tonight. Some really good thoughts. We're getting anxious. There's not as much, I guess, anxiety about Fear the Walking Dead as there always is the first season of Walking Dead, and understandably. But there is still a certain amount of people that are just looking forward to it because we got to get that fix back, and especially after 2 weeks. Game of Thrones is going to be gone. So we got about a week off, and then we'll roll back into everything else. And everybody else that's here, the 999 Army, thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Do me a favor really quickly. I got about 1 more minute. Let's get some 999s typed in there so I can do a few shout-outs to wind the stream down. And once again, say thanks for being a part of our early Fears. Now that's what I'm talking about, William. We got flowers, fireworks, trophies, beer. I can't ask for anything else. Do me a favor, Kel. Those emojis certainly get a kills coin as well. So we'll get William on the board for Friday, too. Really quick, some shout-outs. Sheila Mack, thanks. Passive Vibes, Lynn Nesvik, Rhonda DeLuca, Donnie Thompson, Lisa Marie, thank you. Dark Star, Maurice Gamble, Logan, Viola McGowan, Christina Goddard, Fluff, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Joe Aiden, James Kelly. Drew is a God, Daryl Stoltz, Anita, Julia Muse, Maria Favada, Gina Crockett, thank you. Beatrice, Leanne Gash, thank you. Marcia Derbyshire, Flutter Bear, Stimpy Girl, Northside Queen, Jan Stepp. I noticed a lot more of you are showing up, or I won't say a lot more, but many of you that don't watch Game of Thrones are here for tonight's stream. And then we got some people that are only in the Game of Thrones. Hopefully we can get everybody to kind of merge over and get everybody watching both and get everybody participating in one big chat. I do think that the Walking Dead streams bring everybody together. But there is a little bit of difference between Game of Thrones and Fear the Walking Dead, as you guys have figured out. Robin Vance, thank you. Luis Grimes, thank you. Gabrielle Bloom, appreciate you being here. And with that, everybody, if I missed you in a shout-out, Walani, Army Brat, I see you guys. June Smith, thank you so much. Deborah Farrell, thank you. I missed a ton of people. Wilson, I will catch you guys at 9:30 tomorrow night. Have a good evening. See you then. Peace.